You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Rhodes.
This is Clark.
And this. Oh, shit.
So, this is our first episode of the Weekly Bash, and we are new to this, of course. We've got 3 cameras that we have never actually really used before in this configuration. So, we're going to go ahead and give you a quick, kind of like 2-week news, fill-in, whatever you want to call it. Rhodes, I think you've got the first article.
This first, the Nextbit Robin. It's a new phone that is advertising its ability to have infinite cloud storage. Now, while the infinite cloud storage is not actually infinite, it is only 100 gigabytes. This is actually a pretty nice phone for the amount of storage that it's offering. It's yet to be seen how well this storage functionality works, but it's running with 3 gigabytes of RAM, a Snapdragon processor, and a 5 megapixel front camera. So, oh, and it's got the nano SIM ports.
Does it specify the Snapdragon processor, or do we not know?
No, it's the Qualcomm Snapdragon 808 hexa-core processor. That is a mouthful.
That's the same thing that's in the G4, correct?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's actually a pretty speedy phone.
Mhm.
Moving on to Android 6.0, we see that the Nexus phones should be expecting the official release in early 2016. Of course, Samsung phones will probably also get the update later, probably about Q1 of 2016 also. That's due to TouchWiz being a much less skinned operating system now, which is a godsend in my opinion. We of course see that the LG G3 actually will be skipping the 5.1.1 Android update, moving directly to Android 6.0 Marshmallow. Why that is, we don't know. It's probably because they don't want to bother with it, seeing that the 6.0 update will be coming so soon. Motorola, of course, with the Motorola X Style, Play, all the different stuff, they'll probably get it almost immediately as they have a practically not skinned operating system whatsoever. HTC might not be getting the 6.0 Marshmallow update as soon. We could expect that in later 2016. Of course, Sony, their past recent phones, the Xperia Z series, I think they are, probably should be getting the Android 6.0 update within 2016, at least before Q2.
Moving on, BlackBerry is going into the Android phone market. That's right, people. This new BlackBerry phone, nicknamed Venice, it's dropped a video now. It does not actually have any information on specs, but from what we can see, it has a pull-down keyboard, which is the whole thing about BlackBerry phones. They have that external keyboard, so you don't have to use your touch keyboard, if that's what you prefer. It comes from the bottom, so it's the slightly smaller one. It's not a flip out on the side like you were seeing with some older BlackBerry phone models. It does look like it is running stock Android 5.1 though, so look out to the rest of you phone developers. BlackBerry might be getting back in the game.
And that's actually a pretty scary prospect because back in the day that we all, of course, don't remember, BlackBerry was king of the smartphone industry, but back then they weren't really that smart. So, speaking of the current kings of the smartphone industry, we see that Apple can probably stop Samsung from selling phones. A U.S. federal appeals court has actually ruled that the texting, autocorrect system, and hyperlink system actually is in violation of Apple's copyrights. Now, if this will actually be pressed into reality, we don't know, but that is a seriously crippling action for Samsung, who has been losing smartphone foothold. We don't know what can happen, but all of you people that are planning on buying Samsung smartphones, you better hurry up.
Okay, so recently you know that the MacBook has moved to a higher wattage and battery backups have not been able to put out at the amount that it is taking up watt-wise. So you're losing power, in simpler terms, when you're charging from a backup battery. Now, recently, with an Indiegogo campaign, this new USB-C battery can charge the Retina MacBook at full speed. It uses a Magic Box adapter cable, which converts the DC output of the HyperJuice battery pack to USB-C connection. That's putting out enough mega wattage to charge your new Retina display MacBook.
Bit overcomplicated. I kind of wonder why Apple would do that. Do you have any
It's probably the Retina display, Clark. And
It seems odd that the Retina display would be taking up that much electricity as, that I don't know exactly that much about 1440p high resolution displays that Apple shoves into its computer, but that seems kind of like a BS move, to be honest, Apple. Why did you do that?
yeah, so this new backup battery, it's called the Hyperjuice battery with its Magic Box USB-C adapter.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Surface Pro 4, that should be coming out pretty soon, actually. And we have a little bit of speculation on that. There's some to say that they might not go with that very same Intel Core M processor. They might decide to go with the i-line series of processors, which would actually be really, really nice for those performance users. But there is some speculation to that, as the Apple MacBook, as you know, is running an Intel Core M processor. And with that, you lose some productivity and, of course, some performance, but you gain a lot of battery life out of it. Now, seeing that the Surface Pro 4 is a slim tablet and the Core M series really wasn't up to par at the time that the Surface Pro 3 came out, we could see that the new Surface Pro 4 could get that M processor. And of course, that might be disappointing to the large majority of us that would use the Surface Pro 4. I'm sure that would improve battery for those that aren't digging into the deeper features that those Intel Core processors can offer. Moving on to Apple news, there's been a lot that's going on lately, a little bit of Gates and a lot of new news. Rhodes has a little bit on that, so I'm going to give it to him.
Okay, so I know we just went through an Apple press event, but coming from our friends in Korea, there is a couple rumors about the iPhone 8. Yeah, that's right.
Not the 7.
Not the 7
7S.
people. No. These are unconfirmed, of course, rumors about the iPhone 8. Now, this would be coming out in 2018, speculated. And since Apple has been using the OLED displays in the Apple Watch, we think that they might be switching over from the LCD displays they currently use in their iPhones. Now, this would be nice because it would bring out a lot of vibrancy in your color, and really, it does reduce some delay, right, Clark?
Yeah, actually it reduces a lot of delay, and the nice part about the new Apple Watch is that the black from the bezel practically blends right into the screen, simply because that the pixels can turn off, and with a well-adjusted glass focusing panel and contrast panel, you create practically no barrier between display and bezel, and that would be absolutely positively beautiful on newer iPhones, as that black line around the white finish iPhone would practically disappear if necessary, and on the newer iPhone in the space gray or space black or the black front panel edition would of course be that much more beautiful to look at. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between bezel and display.
Now, there is also some rumors about a curved iPhone, but me and Clark don't put too much credit in that. And by curved, we mean flexible, or kind of like that brand of flex phones that came out a while back. Yeah, that's what we're assuming they're talking about, and we don't think iPhone's going to do that anytime soon.
Apple doesn't like superfluous, they don't like superfluous design. They like minimal aspect design. I don't know why anybody would ever think they would go with a curve unless there's really some sort of benefit that they'd put into it, similar to 3D Touch, but I don't see why they'd be into that.
All right, Clark, you've got some more Apple for us, don't you?
Yes, I do. There is a new update for you Apple Watch users. If you haven't gotten it yet, you probably should. There's quite a bit that has to do with your health and a little bit about better integration with your iPhone. There are quite a few apps that now are supported for running directly on the phone on the watch, not the phone. That should benefit in the sense that your phone does not have to spend its time working on the Apple Watch apps and also the apps that it is running. Now, as useful as this update really is, I don't really see all that much that is so amazing to it, as I'm not really an Apple Watch supporter myself. I find that it's just a notification window and really isn't worth its money, especially the over $300 versions. Anything beyond the sport, I don't support it. Get an Android watch, people. Seriously.
Moto 360 now supports iOS, if you hadn't heard. And even more Apple news. You can now unlock your iPhone 5S or 5C for free. This means you can switch carriers, no charge. Before, this was kind of an inconvenience. It was annoying. Now you can go straight from Verizon to T-Mobile.
And more Apple news, iOS 9 is a complete failure. Don't buy it. or download it, whatever. We've got a minute left on our cameras, so we're wrapping up now. This has been Clark.
This has been Rhodes.
And that was the weekly patch. We will see you in the next week or so. This is our first video. Goodbye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
That went really well. I have gotta say.